guys, it's just another week, another load of work to do, and some serious cool cars on the way. The Mez is in, we got that done at the weekend. Matt's just being a weirdo, I don't even know what he's doing. He's clearly excited. He's on with the F-Type today that we've got in for a week to be done. As I said, the Mez got fitted at the weekend. There's a lot going on at the minute, and we have got some serious vehicles. And I'm saying vehicles because, do you know what? They're not all cars, and I'm going to show it. So obviously you guys who do love your cars, you're going to love this even more if you're a bike guy. I'm not telling you what it is. It's on its way shortly. But as you know, we've got the Mez in. It's actually clean. We've got room for activities. It's amazing. We could play football. I'm not going to do that because there's cars around, but we could. The lights are in. They're only temporary at the minute because we've got more going on, and I need some spotlights putting up here for my detailing bay. So once we get the proper spotlights on, which I'm going to do in a bit, we've got Lewis coming out to do some electrical work for us. He's going to fit some new sockets, get these put onto like trigger switches so we can actually adjust them and dull them. These lights are really cool, these hex lights, but what I'm going to tell everyone is they're actually not for detailing. Anybody who uses them for detailing is tricking things. They're crap. They're bright as hell. They look seriously cool. They do not show any form, I should say, of swirls or scratches or marring. They're absolutely shocking for it. That's why I'm having proper detailing lights put back up. But these are there for the ghosting when we do the ceramic. They give us a lot of light. They give us a lot of visual activity on that side of things, so we can see if the ceramics works right, and that's going to make my life a lot easier. We've got them in at this part here. This is your collection bay. We've still got a bit of work to do. This is my detailing bay now. We've swapped ramps with Matt just for access for myself, so we've got a lot of lights going on here. The shop lights are now in, and the shop's getting built this week, so we're going to have a frame across here, frame across there. The shop's going to be completely sectioned off, and what we're going to be doing on this area, because this is a ramp that goes higher, we're actually going to be sectioning off from the Mez, and we're going to be pulling the frame up, and then what we're going to do is put a full lighting rig above that. So in regards to lighting, we've got over 2,000 quid of lighting going on here, and it's going to make a massive improvement. Still got a bit of work to do, still got a little things. I don't know what the hell Matt's doing. There's still a lot of work going on anyway, guys. This is all going to be sectioned off. This is where all the tools and the machinery are. We're OCD as hell. We like everything to be clean, so this is going to be sectioned off and sorted. Like I said, the shop's going to be a separate part. That is not going to be visible for anybody else. So when you walk into the shop, you are only going to get the shop. Other than that, the Audi, it's for sale still, obviously, for swap. It's on eBay, it's on Facebook. We've had loads of interest on it. Honestly, some of the cars we've had interest in. We've had a few time wasters. It's live. We deal with it. Don't worry about it. We've obviously held the car for one person. He didn't want it at the time. He's wanted basically a different deal. What we agreed. We're not playing that game. So do you know what the truth is? We're not going to go with that car. It would have been a cool car. I'm not going to explain what it was. It would have been a cool car, but we were going to be spending another £5 on it. And the truth is, I actually decided we don't want to do that. I've been offered a few A5s, a few A7s. They're really on the top list because we can make them into RS5, RS7. RS7 would be a cool option as a replica. But the Audi is basically still on the swap system. We have got a few viewings today. There's a few offers. Some of the cars I'm not massively bothered about, but Matt likes the idea of them, and we've got to do this as a team. I weren't going to do any more on this, but it has got that oil leak that we mentioned. We fixed one of the door handles on the back. I still need to have a look at that. I'm going to use this again, as like I said, as a daily, to be honest with you. So until it sells and we find the right car for us, that is going to be used by me. It's got the oil leak that we know about, and it's actually going to Dom, and Dom's going to be fixing that for us in the next few days, because I just, if I'm using it daily, I just want that fixed. I don't want that to be an issue. That does mean that we're doing more to it than what we said, and we're giving a bit more at the minute, but it also means that the price might change on the car because we're doing that work, and I'm possibly going to put that price up slightly because we've done this at a price to pretty much give away for what we've got in the car. And you know what, I keep saying but that's about it really for this part of the blog, guys. There's going to be a lot more going on in a minute. We've got some other stuff happening I'm going to get onto camera for you, so keep watching the video, see what else pops up. And again, don't forget, open day 12th, so we're only literally like a week away from the open day. You're going to miss it if you don't come. A hell of a lot's going on, some serious cars involved. We've actually got some serious cars booked in for the open day, so you can actually see them. and there's just a lot going on. So again, keep following this video, guys. We'll transition into a minute into something different, and you're going to see something seriously cool. Now, I know I said we weren't doing any more on this Audi. I can't help myself. You know, anybody who follows us all knows me, and we know we've got real issues when it comes to doing cars up and improving and making them look better. The first pack of 3 items has actually arrived. I'm not sure where the other 2 are, but I'm sure they'll arrive today. And these are the carbon interior trim panels that we've got. I know I said I weren't going to do any more with it. I just want it to look cool as. It's a nice car to drive now. Honestly, it's a lot better than I expected. I actually quite enjoy driving it. Plenty of boot space as well, so I can just throw stuff in it. I'm off to pick up a couple of arcade machines and a pinball machine tomorrow, because we're going to be having them in our chill out room that we're having made in this mezzanine, just for me, Matt and the guys to be able to have a bit of a chill out and a break when we need to. And do you know what? I wouldn't have been able to do that without having the Audi, because it won't fit in an M3 and it definitely won't fit in an Aston. So we've treated it to doing more stuff that we said we weren't going to do. I'm going to show you what it looks like before. I'm going to show you what it looks like after. This is just to set the console part. The rest of it hasn't come yet. Like I say, it's going to be here later today. And any minute now, 2 vehicles are getting dropped off, so we're going to keep an eye out on this window down here. Now I've got a new fancy mezz and an office getting built. It's going to look cool. But 2 cars are getting dropped off. I'm going to show you what they are. You're going to see them on the video, and this is going to be a serious week of weapons. It really, some of these cars and bikes are next level, guys. So that's the current interior. These are the parts we're going to be adding. I actually don't know what else I've ordered. I've got a feeling I've ordered these bits and the bits for here on the door, but I've also got a feeling I've ordered that and not this part. So do you know what? We're probably going to end up having to buy more and spend more money on it, but it's going to look cool. So I'm going to get these done. I've just managed to open these with my teeth because I'm trying to record on a video. Should have brought a knife. I'm going to get these on now. Let's see what they look like, and hopefully they don't look really tacky and cheap. They feel alright, to be fair. They actually look like carbon, unlike some stuff. And hopefully the rest of it will come, because then my OCD is going to be an issue, and it's going to be literally half a dash and half done. And I'm starting to think we need a carbon steering wheel, and I'm actually going to keep this car because I'm kind of putting too much in it now. But don't know, let us know what you think. Anyway, that thing I was telling you about is turning up in a minute, and the other one's due in half an hour. So let's see what they are. Yeah, I knew that were going to happen. Do you know what? This already looks a million times better. How clean does that look compared? So now I'm going to have to check, have we actually got all the dash parts, or just half the dash parts? And have we only got all the door parts, or just half the door parts? Don't even know what I ordered. But I think we're going to have to speak with the guys at Diversion now, because I think we need to get a new steering wheel, and I've got a feeling I'm going to keep this over winter. Because I've had quite a lot of sales. We've had about 54 offers for cars. 4 of them I really liked. There were 7 on the short list. We were supposed to be doing a deal with one today, but the gentleman was wanting a different deal, and I'm not prepared to do it. We kind of agreed what we're doing. I've turned 2 customers down and wanted to view this because I didn't want to let someone down or tell them we were going to do a deal and we weren't. It wasn't fair. That's fallen through, and I won't be doing that again. Being honest, I'm gonna, if someone wants to come and view the car for a swap, just come and view it. It's fine. Give us a call. We're going to be doing it over the phone only. You need to ring us to arrange a booking. And I need to break off now because this is somebody else that's going to be coming. So let's just see where he is. Hi, Jason. Yeah, mate. You just round the corner. Yeah. No, just come down, mate. It's fine. I'm here now. Yeah, it's fine, mate. Yeah. Alright, mate. See you in a sec. Bye. Alright, guys, you need to see what this is that's coming. This is just one of the seriously high-end cars. Now, you might have seen this already. I have been in it. We have done a bit of work on it. It's coming back for some more work. It's had some seriously cool extra things done on it. I'm going to show you what they are once it's off the trailer, so you can actually see what's been done on this car. But this does make this a seriously unique car, and it's already a rare car. I've been told it's literally coming now, guys. Let's just have a look what it is, and then so you wait for the one that's coming in after this. It's even cooler. Well, you know what, that's a lie. They're both equally cool, but one of them is a bike and it's something that's even rarer. But again, let's just see what this looks like. Now you're gonna wait for this, guys. This is one hell of a car. I wasn't even talking about the trailer, because let's be honest, Jason's trailer is next level. If you need a car picking up, you need a car dropping off to us, or you just want to get something moved around, Jason is the guy that we go to every single time, and that's because he has got the coolest trailer, the best safety equipment. You don't even know what's inside it when it's on the road, so you know it's perfectly safe. They even got alloys on the bloody trailer. I mean, come on, this thing is next level. So let's just see what Jason's brought us. I will drop a link in the description into the video for you, so if you need Jason for any work, to be able to move anything, you'll be able to just contact him direct. But as I said, he's the only guy that brings cars to us when we need to be working on them. Don't know if you can tell what it is yet, guys, but let's have a look at this. Now I know you've seen this car before, you've seen it on some of the blogs and the videos we've done before, so you do know the car, and it's the new GT3. Now this has had even more work done to it, and that's why it's come back to us, and this is a hell of a car. Now I don't actually think it even had these rims on last time. These are custom wheels again, and obviously they are centre lock, so they cost an absolute fortune. To get them custom built, it's not just like getting a normal stud wheel done. But there's a lot more that's been done to this car, and that's what we're going to show you in a minute. Now inside here, when it actually comes off, I'm going to show you what these seats are like. They're not just the single piece carbon GT3 seats. They've had some extra work done on them, and I believe they're aftermarket. I don't think it's something that Porsche even deal with, but they've had a complete new interior trim done on them, and that's one of the things that this has come in for, and that's for us to ceramic the interior panels, so the actual fabric and the leather is now fully protected because of the cost of what they've had done. And there is even more, which I don't know if you can actually see on there, but it's had completely new and totally unique winglets added to the mental spoil that's already on it. And again, that is another reason it's actually come back into us, because that is a part of the car that isn't currently ceramicked. So at the minute, the wheels aren't ceramic coated, the wings aren't ceramic coated, the interior's had nothing done to it whatsoever. It's actually had a new rear light, I believe, from under warranty, so that now needs coating because one of the rear lights isn't. And I've got a list, to be fair, there's something else that needs coating on. Oh, the wing mirror. The PPF failed on the mirror, and that's been back to the company that did the PPF, because it's before we got our studio up, and so we couldn't do that, as you're aware. But the mirror hasn't got the ceramic coating on the PPF, so that's another thing it's in. I think there's a couple of other little things that we need to do. Ceramic the brakes, we're going to do that as part of the wheels. But we're going to show you a lot more on this car, and again, like I just said, the other vehicles just actually turned up. So in a minute we're going to show you the bike that we've got in, and that's in for a full PPF protection as well. So I don't know if you can see it, but in the background is a Ducati 1199 Superleggera. Now that is not just an everyday bike, it's just not even a 1199 Ducati, it's a Superleggera. If you know your bikes, you're going to love this bike. It is insane. It's basically a pure race bike that's you can buy for the road, but the reality is it is a race bike, it's not really a road bike. I'm going to give you a quick overview of it now before we get on with the PPF side of things, because Matt just being an absolute cabbage as normal. We've just also viewed two cars that we're looking at with the Audi RS4 swap. Obviously I've started putting a bit more work in it. We're actually going to get the oil leak repaired ourselves, I think, now, because I'm going to start using it more, because I'm actually enjoying it a lot more than I thought. We've done some carbon bits, they look amazing. The rest of them are due Wednesday, so I'm not going to be able to get that finished till Wednesday. We've got some new bulbs coming because the halogens are a bit picky. So I've actually ordered new ones just so there's no issues with them. They're quite expensive, they're about 70-80 quid I think they were, but it's worth obviously buying them. I want to get them right. It just stops any errors, because every now and again the driver's light just kind of fails and then comes back. so we're just changing the bulbs on that. But like I say, we've just viewed a couple of cars. Not really what we wanted, in all fairness. Really nice cars, not in the condition we were told they were. Like, one of them had quite a lot of rust on the bottom of the sills. We can't wrap over that. And we're not a body shop, so we're not going to be kind of sanding those areas down. We were told they were pretty mint, and they weren't. We've been very, very clear about our car, what's wrong with it, what it needs. We've even shown it on all the videos, so we know there's like a few defects and things, and we understand we're not going to get a perfect car, and we're not wanting a perfect car. Well, it'd be nice, but let's be honest, we're not that bothered. But unless it's the right car, we're not going to do the deal, because the RS4 looks pretty cool, to be honest, and it's practical, and we can chuck stock in it for now. So do you know what? It works for us to keep it, to be fair, as a benefit that way. But as I say, the right car comes across, we're going to jump on it, and we're going to start modifying that, and we're going to start changing that, and that'll be in a new video, and then you'll be able to see what we do, and you'll be able to give us some input. You know, we're going to give you guys ideas on the wrap and kind of get a bit of feedback from you, and try and kind of build it based on what you think as well, and what we're going to train with. But for now, let's have a look at this Superleggera. Not gonna lie, this is an absolute manic morning. We've just had loads of racking delivered. That's took me and Matt over an hour and a half to physically move the racking. And you know what, we're out of breath. That were heavy, heavy shit. It really was. I'm back on with the F-Type this morning. I'm going to try and show you some of the scratches on here. I've spoke to the client about it. He's not aware that they actually had any marks. He was only aware of the two that are actually here, which we've filled in, and what we're going to do now is I'm going to block those back, basically sand them back and blend it in and try and highlight them. They're really bad, so any result we get is going to be fine. But what I noticed was the whole car is scratched. It's pretty bad. It's red, so it happens. I'm not kind of overly bothered about it. It is what it is, but the whole car under proper spotlights is horrendously marked, and the customer weren't aware of that. But we had a scratch that literally ran all the way across here and all the way down here, and here across down here is still there. And the truth is, it's not coming out. It's in plastic, so it's in the bumper. It's going to take some serious work to blend that down, and because it's plastic, what it's actually done is scarred the plastic as opposed to just the paint. So even if you can get the mark to kind of hide away or not be as visible, the problem you get with those is it's actually kind of dented the plastic, where with paint it doesn't do that because it doesn't flex. It's obviously tougher because where the paint is normally a metal panel. So we're not going to get the best result on that, but the customer wasn't even aware of it. He said he's never noticed it before. He's had the car a few years. So all we need to do is really get that down the best we can to a safe level without burning the paint, and basically get the result we need on that. The rest of the car still needs all its machine work. I have got a solid 4 or 5 days on this car to get it done, and it's going to take some effort. It's really going to take some effort, but this is the thing about this job, and I've been building this business since 1999. And when you look around the stuff that we have got in here, and we've got even more going on at the minute, we've got some mezzanine stuff getting built above and some racking. This shop floor is starting to become absolutely spotless and incredible. The lighting rigs are going up, we've got more going on this weekend. It's insane, and the cars we work on, do you know what, honestly, you're like a kid in a sweet shop if you're into cars. I mean, look at the GT3. We've shown you, we've told you all about it. That's it for some work, and that's going out today. I'm going to crack on with that, do a bit of a night shift. That's going in and straight out. But the work we've got to do on that, and that is an insane car. And then Matt is on with the 1199 Superleggera. This is in for a full PPF protection package, and it's a lot more PPF than we expected. When we basically got the film cut, the guy didn't realise that the actual film was that much, so when he's cut it, it's took a lot longer than he expected. But there's so much to do on this, because if you can't tell on the camera, it's carbon everywhere, and this has got a lot of work doing on it. So that's in now. We're going to get a bit of machine work done on that. We're going to buff that up, get the bugs and the grime out from the front, get the PPF laid down. We've probably got the day on that to get that done. But seriously, the cars that are in here and what we're working on this week, if you're a car man, do you know what, this is heaven. Honestly, you couldn't ask for a better job, and some of the stuff that's here today, next level. So what I'm currently working on is, as I mentioned, the Jag. Now the problem with this being red, and we've explained this a lot of times, you know, multiple times, you can't realistically get red paint, black paint, you know, dark blues absolutely mint without using a rotary system, and that's why I'll use a lot of flex tools. We do have rupees, we do have some DAs, and they're damn good, but the flex is next level, to be fair, especially when it's a rotary. The problem is you've got to be really careful to not burn the paint. You've got to obviously not put any marring into it, and you do have to refine it quite a lot. So now I've basically, as you can probably see on here, it's quite swirly. That's actually just the motions of the buffer, but if you're not careful, that will create similar to that, and it's called buffer trail. And you've got to be really careful with that, because what we've found on the back of this panel before we've even started on it is, I'm going to struggle to find it now, just here, and I will try and get it on camera. I'm not sure if it's going to pick it up, in all fairness, under this light, but basically there is, it looks like a bird lime. You would think it was a bird lime if you were really looking at it, but the reality is that's actually a burn mark. It's a stress mark. So at some point in the past, somebody's actually tried to fix this scar that we talked about, and they've actually burnt the paint. So I'm going to have to, in effect, work around that to get the best results, because it isn't going to actually cause any, well, I'm not going to be able to cut it, basically, because it's going to burn that, and it's just going to blister, and it's already gone sort of clearer than what the actual colour is. So I'm gonna have to be really careful with that. And while I'm doing that, Matt is just basically on with the bike now, the Superleggera. We're doing a hell of a lot of prep work. I'd probably say there's more prep work involved doing a bike for PPF than there is for a car, and not because it's a bigger area, but there's obviously a lot more tricky areas. Basically the curvature of the bike is quite tricky. You have to prep it right, but it's about the sort of creases and grooves. So basically when we're talking about bikes, where you've actually got in between the areas of the framework here and here, for example, if you don't prep that properly, I can't even speak, prep that properly, what you'll find is that you can get dirt, grime, bit of water, bit of dust, and that'll sit in the PPF, and it'll be really obvious, and it'll make a right mess of it, especially places like the lights and the fairing here, where we're looking at really across here. If we don't clean this properly, which we're going to do with the steamer, the problem is that the PPF is probably going to get dirt and dust in it. Doing a big panel like a bonnet or a boot, not really a big issue with PPF. It's quite straightforward. It's just about getting a really good seam line, and that's what's important, especially to us, about getting the perfect seam line and making sure we get the curvature so you can't tell the PPF's on. So there's probably about an hour of prep work on that. I'm going to crack on with the F-Type. So we're pretty close now to finishing the passenger side on the F-Type. I'm not going to lie, some of the marks in this car are so deep, it's quite scary. There's basically jagged marks down the panel here, and it's actually got the scratch mark that we found on the back actually sort of starts here, goes all the way across the seam, all the way down the door, back up all the way across the quarter panel, and then actually back through the bumper. And there's some really bad scarring right on the bottom of the actual sill here. What I've also noticed, and I think this is the reason why a lot of the marks aren't coming out, down here, I don't think I'm going to get it on camera, to be fair, but here, I don't know if you can actually see, just there, it's actually been repainted, and there's basically a bit of peel in the actual paint where it's not been, it's like bubbled up, it's hit a bit of water, or it's not been sanded back right. And I think the reality is what's actually happened is some of these scratches are in the paint, and then the paint has been reapplied on it, but obviously many years ago. And the problem with that is it's actually bonded those scratches in. So what we're having to do is the old school technique that you've probably seen on the videos before, which is where we really heat the paint up and we try and blend it, and we effectively heating the paint and smudging it across. And what that's doing is not removing the scratch, but kind of filling it down. And while we're doing that, Matt is basically back on with, flip the camera, Matt is back on with the PPF on the bike, and the finish is insane on here. Really next level. It's actually been a lot more difficult than we expected. The truth is, this is the first superbike that we've actually done with PPF, and I generally thought it was going to be quite straightforward because this is such a big sort of flat panel. But the truth is, to get all these lined up really accurately, so the gaps are very, very similar on each one, and then to get the frame bent round here, and you see the bit we're working on now, that is by far the most difficult part, because not only does it, trying to show you my hand, but not only does it slide in, comes back out, goes across, and then goes down. So you've actually got about 6 curves on that area there, and that is extremely tricky to get a perfect seam line on it. We might not even be able to do it because of the way the template is. It's not perfect, isn't the template, but it's damn close. But the reality is, unless we get the line here and the line there and the line there and the line there equal, truth is, it's just not gonna look or be to the standard that we're used to. So in regards to PPF in a superbike, not as easy to make out, and the reason why people do say it does take over a day to do them, and we actually thought we'd crack this off in half a day, but even, you know, like to our standard levels, it's not going to be half a day. We're going to be a day and a half probably on this, in all fairness. If you just want to whack it on, I bet you could do it in a day, which is still more than we expected, but there's a lot to do on this bike. I mean, it's actually got all this fairing here. The tank is in 3 pieces. This is a pre-cut film, however the tank has got the defender back bit on there, which is real carbon. We're going to have to trim around that because we don't want to be taking that off, and then there's so much on the bottom. And the other issue you've got is all this is carbon here, so all this part that you actually see across here is actually a carbon seam, but there is a lip and an edge across it. And also when you actually see the writing here, this has all been basically stickers and lacquered over, so this looks a bit lumpy, and this is actually a lip where you can actually get your finger across it. So to get that to seam up perfect, it honestly is going to be a bit of a problem, and we're not going to finish it, and we're not going to leave it until it is mint. So we're going to crack on. I'm going to get the rest of this side finished. I want to get the bumpers done today, and I want to get the other side done, and then I've only got the bonnet and the boot and the spoiler to finish tomorrow, and then I can get on with the coating. It's probably about 2:30 by now, so we've got a hell of a lot of work to crack on with. We're now on to the driver's side on the F-Type, and again we've come across quite a big scratch. Again, it's probably going to be difficult to see on camera, but we've actually got a mark from here all the way down to here, so it's pretty deep, and it's literally all the way down. It's the same sort of thickness and sort of deep scratch as what we found on the rest of the panels. I honestly couldn't tell you what they are. There could be cat scratches, but it's only a single scratch. There's not sort of 3 marks where you normally get 3 or 4 marks on a cat scratch, but it's literally all the way from there and all the way down to here. Again, that's going to take some effort to get out. This is really needing a lot of work, this car, and it's one of those weird colours where, with being red, you generally don't see them unless you've got detailing lights on, so you're not noticing the actual car is that badly scratched. Now I've took the detailing lights off. We've only got the hex lights on at the minute on this side, and again you probably can't see the scratch that we've got down there, but we have got this side pretty much flawless. Now it's been refined, been actually cut with the finishing pad and the finishing compound, and now I'm trying to work on this side. As you can see here, we've got the detailing lights on, well, we've got the hex lights on for the ghosting, and it's just trying to get the finish right on there. But this is the bit I really need to work on, and I'm going to have to spend quite a bit of time working on that to get it out. Luckily, again, back on with the flex. It has to be done with the rotary. This whole panel, as you can see here, with the trail across it, this has all been done with a rotary at the minute, and it's the only way we really do get a top end finish out, especially out of a red car. What's bizarre, and I think they're actually door marks. What I mean by door marks is I think this is where someone's opened the door on the car. I've got a crease, well, it's not even a crease, but it's like a scuff mark just about here, and I've got 2 on the other side that are exactly the same. Again, I'm going to try and show you them on camera now, but that to me, they're also pretty difficult, and they look like where someone's actually opened the door on the car and it's kind of put a jagged sort of scuff into it, like a burn. And again, like I said, they're the tricky bits. So I'm going to try and show you on camera now. Hopefully the camera will pick them up. The lighting rigs we've got set up so far, and we're not even finished, are actually that bright, it really does make it worse to find on camera than what even the old studio was. To the eye, you can see everything. On camera, really finding it difficult on that aspect of things, but let's see if I can get them on footage for you. So another early morning, guys, another late start, last night late finish, I can't even say it. Last night we finished the Superleggera. That is literally on its way out the door back now. The PPF, I've got to be honest, was a lot more difficult than we expected. We spoke with a few companies in regards to the PPF supply, and they actually say that the 1199 Superleggera is probably the hardest bike that you can PPF. So do you know what? That's a massive tick box. To be fair, Matt really smashed it out the court. There were a few areas he weren't perfect with, so I've tweaked them and given him a little bit of a hand, but in all reality he's done majority of that himself and he's absolutely knocked it out of the park. The film isn't one of our own, it's not Pro Film. They don't do the kits for this, so we have outsourced it, and in all fairness, the kit isn't actually perfect for the bike. Some of the lines don't line up perfect. You can't kind of get the edges and the seams right, so it took a hell of a lot of stretching and a little bit of heat shrink in order to get the film to be the level that we want that to be. So that's why it became a little bit more difficult, but honestly Matt has smashed it out of the park. It looks insane. The customer is going to be chuffed to bits with that, we know he is. Managed to get majority of the F-type done. I've got the bonnet and the bumpers to do today, and that's pretty much it, and we can get that ready for a ceramic coating, so that's going to be knocked out of the park in a day or two. And the Audi, it's gone, but it's not actually been sold or swapped. I've enjoyed it that much to drive. The truth is, I've taken it to the mechanic and I've actually had a few extra things sorted on it that we said we weren't going to do, and it weren't something we were interested in doing. We were going to leave that to the next buyer. But do you know what, we've just done them. It had a little bit of an oil leak on one of the seals on the head, so that's been done, and it's had not a big issue, but one of the gaskets on the gearbox was actually leaking as well, and it's a gearbox out job. So do you know what, that's cost us, but it's something that we've done that a customer now doesn't have to do. And to be fair, if you didn't know certain people, would probably be an expensive repair. Luckily Dom's sorted that for us. We've also had an issue with the headlight that we said on the last video where it just randomly failed. We've actually found that two of the wires had somehow kind of touched themselves and rubbed away on the actual frame of the car, so we've had a new loom fitted in there. Because of that, it has blown either a ballast or the bulb, and we're not sure which. They're both like an 80 quid part, but we've actually bought both of them just in case. So the headlight's going to be repaired at the same time. So in regards to like issues with the car, the reality is the only thing that's going to be left to do on there is to put the squib, basically the loom inside the airbag itself that we've mentioned. All the other problems are actually fixed, they're dealt with, and there's nothing else to do. So we are going to be relisting the car. There is obviously less work involved on it, and we're going to be going through sort of the options that we've got. We've viewed 4 cars already. they weren't really what we thought would be a good investment for us and something that we could then give to another client for them to benefit and get the most from. So we're looking at other options. We've got 2 or 3 to really potential sort of cars but we can't view those until we get the car back. So we're hopefully picking up the RS4 replica tonight. And the next blog that you're going to see, guys, is yet again another event at the Motorist, which SCUK have basically generated again. There's about 84 people going, so there's going to be more. Well, sorry, 84 cars noted for going, so there's going to be more people actually going. So it's going to be absolutely massive, and that's on Saturday. So the next blog you see of us, guys, will probably be the Motorist event. SUV Prestige are going to be going there. We're going to be meeting those guys for the first time before they come and do the open day. Dan at CLP's heading over, and there's a new car that we are involved in going to be dropped and released at the Motorist. So again, make sure you watch the latest videos, guys. There's going to be some lot coming on. Cheers again. Thanks very much.
You're